Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video. And today we are going to be taking our first road trip with the Tesla. We're going to be going up to Rhode Island. It's about 258 miles or so from here. We're going to be going up, I think, 287, 87 to 95. We're going to stop somewhere along 95 in Connecticut to charge the car because we don't want to get there with very little range. I think I have 95% battery right now, which is about 318 or maybe 310 miles of range. But like I said, I don't want to get there with very little range, so we're going to stop, we're going to charge and keep it moving, see how long that takes. So we've had the car for a little less than a week now, and we are loving the experience, we're loving the ride. So now we're going to take it for the first road trip of many and see how it goes. Let's check it out. Let's get out of here. All right, so we are in some traffic on a stop and go here, and it's saying that we're gonna get to the supercharger at 2:21. It is 12:48 right now, hour and 33 minutes with 24% left on the battery. So we're about 72 miles out. And we will see if that holds up because it's been going from 18 to all the way up to about 28% battery. So we'll see how this affects us and getting to the supercharger with battery left, or with how much battery left, I guess I should say, how much it'll affect the overall range. But yeah, this is where we're in. Now we're in one lane traffic. So hopefully we can get out of this soon. We've been in this for about 10 minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes. So hopefully this is it, and we get some smooth sailing after we get out of this construction that's happening right to the right of us right now as we are passing. Looks like we're opening up. We're good to roll. So we finally made it to the first stop. I believe we are in Madison, Connecticut. And we got here with, I believe, was about 26% battery, and we're charging right now. It only is telling us to charge for about 3 minutes to continue on our trip, but we're actually going to charge it for a little bit longer. We're going to go inside, we're going to eat, and then we'll get back in the car and head out. So I'm not sure how long we're going to be here for, but we'll see how much battery charge we get in the interim. Right now it's 240, and we'll see what time we get back into the car. So as you can see, it's 160 kilowatt per hour, and we're at 41% so far. Not really sure what 625 miles per hour means. I'm guessing that means that every hour it's charging, it would charge that much if the battery had that limit, plus 14 kilowatts. I'm not exactly sure what these numbers mean. Like I said, we just got the car out less than a week ago. It's been 6 days, so we're still getting to know the car. We'll get deep dives into all this stuff and get to know the car a little bit better as we get going. So here you guys see it says charging. You have enough energy to continue on your trip, but we are going to keep charging. When I got here, I ride with 24.2% battery, and up here it says I use on this trip so far 65.8% battery consumed, 4.1 less than the trip projection, which is really nice. Down here we got some tips. Staying below 70 miles an hour would have saved us 2% on this trip. 7.2 mile an hour wind from the south cost us 1.3%. Then you have a couple of different stats right here, which is really nice. I don't know if there's anything else. Nope, that's it. So I'm gonna leave that there. So we're gonna go inside and we'll come out in a little bit. We are back on the road. We charged up to 97%. We're at 96. For whatever reason, dropped at 1%. Either way, we're going to be down to 65% when we get to our destination at 4:54. So I believe we stopped there for about, I don't know, 45 minutes in total. We couldn't stop charging at any point. We had enough after 10 minutes to keep moving, or sorry, to get to the destination. But like I said, we didn't want to not have enough battery or be low on charge, which I think was going to be like 11 or 9% when we got to our destination. So now we're fully charged. It'll be 65% when we get there, and it'll give us plenty of time to go find a charger where there is one. So 40 minutes added to that. We did stop. We ate a little bit, walked the dog. We're back on the road. So we'll see how annoying or not annoying these like stops are when you take these road trips. I personally don't like stopping, especially when I do go to Rhode Island. I like to just kind of go roll on through. And if I do, it's just for a quick pit stop, no more than 10 minutes or so, and get right back on the road. So this is a little bit different for me to actually stop this long, and I wouldn't call it waste this much time, but let this much time pass before we're back on the road. But we're starting to get there at 4:50, plenty of charge, so feel good about it. Hey guys, so we made it. It's 4:54, 65% battery left. So it was pretty on point. I think it had said 64% that we would have when we got here, but we got 65. 65% when we get to our destination. 4:54. Trying to see here what else we got. So give you some of the stats right there. Now over here we're gonna go to trips, and in this trip from 83 miles and an hour and a half, that was from when we charged until we got here. Unfortunately, I didn't reset the trip here to get the whole trip from Pennsylvania to Rhode Island, but it's all right. Lesson learned. Once I started charging in Connecticut, it kind of reset the whole. I guess that's what it does. Like once you charge, or maybe I don't really know. I don't know when this trip gets reset, but it did. 83 miles, an hour and a half or so, to get from Connecticut to where we are now. Trip wasn't bad. It was actually a nice ride, smooth, comfortable. Road noise, I want to say there wasn't too much or any road noise, maybe a little bit, but I thought it was a very comfortable ride. Maybe it took us a little bit longer than normal because we had to stop, and we stopped for about 45 minutes or so. So we've been in Rhode Island for 6 days now. We are about to head out. We've charged twice while we've been here. The last time we charged, it was 21:42, which was last night. We had, I think, 18% battery left, and we charged all the way up to 80. Right now we have 75% battery left, which equals to 247 miles. So let me show you that. So you can see here we have 2142 is what we charged last night. 247 miles of range, which is 75%. Let's see here. I'm gonna navigate home and see how long this takes us, or what way this takes us. So it's calculating, and then the next time we stop, according to this, is going to be in Fairfield with 19%, which is about 2 hours away, 123 miles. So that is where we are going to be stopping. Maybe we stop beforehand, depending on if we want to just get out. Because along the way home, there are, or going down 95, I was just saying along the way. Oh my God, let me start this again. Along the way home, going down 95, there are a few different rest stops in Connecticut that we can hit. I'm pretty sure they all have Tesla superchargers, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong with that, but I do know at least that they have Tesla chargers there. Obviously, we want to do a supercharger because it'll be a little bit faster, but if we end up stopping, it's not a supercharger, and we just get, you know, another good amount of charge to keep going, then I wouldn't be upset. I typically don't stop. I think I've said this already, or at least I don't stop for too long. You know, maybe just a quick pit stop to go to the bathroom and keep going. But now we're gonna have to adjust the way we take these trips, because we do have to stop now a little bit longer. On the way here, it just wanted us to charge at 10%. And keep going. Sorry, it only wanted us to charge for 10 minutes and keep going. And it was calculating that just those 10-minute stops, which was just that one, was going to get us here with, I forget how much battery it said. But I didn't really feel comfortable just not knowing where the charges were here, and, you know, all these other kind of things, especially being the first road trip that we're taking. So I wanted to make sure that we had enough battery left when we got here. So we got here, I forget with how much percentage, and we actually were able to drive around for a couple of days before we even charged, which was nice. So we've charged twice, and I'll put this all together and I'll show you how much money we spent on charging, which is obviously going to be more expensive than just charging at home. I think the superchargers up here were like 45 cents and maybe like 35 cents at the rest stop. At the rest stop, they were 35 cents. So I don't know, and I kind of feel like the charging was cheaper the one day at, you know, the place we charged here, and then the next time we went it was a little bit more expensive, like almost 10 cents. But I could be wrong. Maybe I didn't really pay attention to how much it was the first time. But it was 45 cents last night, and it was 35 cents down in Connecticut, which is kind of strange. I feel like rest stops are always going to be more expensive. So maybe this particular place that I was doing it, it's like at a gas station that they have these chargers. Maybe they are just, you know, charging a little bit more just to get that premium. It was busy at that supercharger. Almost every time we went, there was either no spots or very limited amount of spots. And I believe there's only like 2 superchargers or maybe 3 superchargers in all of Rhode Island. I mean, it's not that big, so I guess that's, you know, makes sense. Luckily, the one that we have here is like, you know, 5 or 10 minutes from my parents' house. The other one's a little bit further away, but probably like 15 minutes, so it's not that crazy. And I believe that supercharger is near, if I'm not mistaken, where the Tesla showroom is in Rhode Island, because I'm pretty sure there is a Tesla showroom in Rhode Island. So we're going to be taking that trip. We're probably going to be leaving here in the next 10, 20 minutes or so, hopefully. Everything's packed up, ready to go, and we're just going to head out. And let me see here what time it's not telling me. Let me see. If we were to leave right now, we would get home at 3 o'clock, which is actually a nice time, but obviously we're not leaving right this second. So I'm thinking we're gonna be getting home around 5 o'clock. So we'll see how we do. 5 o'clock I'm okay with, prefer 3, but obviously that is not happening. So I'll see you at the next stop. So we made it to the first stop. Ozzo's back there freaking out a little tiny bit because he wants to get out. So we have, let me show you, turn it around here. We have, where we at here, 25% battery left, which translates to 81 miles. We're about to charge up. Should be about 25 minutes. We'll do that, and then we'll keep on going. I think we left the house with 73% battery, and here we are in Fairfield, Connecticut with about 25. Let's charge up. Let's go. So we are fully charged. We got 90% charge. That should be enough to get home. I believe it said about 36% is what we'll have when we get back to the house. Took about a half hour or so to charge. I think I started walking towards the rest stop or the building over there at about 1:25. It is 1:59, but it stopped charging about 4 minutes ago or so. Did have a long conversation with a guy who had an EV. I think it was like a Chevy, was it Bolt or whatever it's called, and he was having trouble charging at not just this rest stop but other ones too. So I kind of feel bad on that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's get back on the road. We are ready to roll. We should be getting home around, I don't know, I think I said 4 or 5 o'clock. So we'll see.
It might have changed because we did stay here a lot longer than it wanted us to. I think it was 25 minutes, and we're already about 35 minutes or so that we've been here. So let's get on the road and let's keep it moving. All right, so we made it back around 5 o'clock. We unloaded the car, and what do we have left? Let me tell you. It took about what, like 2 hours or so to get back, maybe a little bit less. Here we have 34% battery. Show you 34% battery left, which equals to 111 miles. Let's see over here. We got our chart. Over here it says staying below 70 miles an hour would have saved 6.4 miles this trip. And I believe when we left Connecticut, the rest stop, it did say we would have about 46% battery or something like that, 36% battery. But then once we started driving, it did say 46, and I went all the way up to 50. But as you can see, when we got home, we have 34%. That is because we ended up also using the standard mode. We took it off of chill mode for a little bit to kind of test that out. We haven't used it yet, so we did it today. And with that, I think that really used up a lot of battery. I think it was like 2% almost every time we were using it, and I think we used it maybe a few different times, but it wasn't like for long spurts. So that definitely did take a lot more battery than we had thought. But 34% is still pretty good. We are getting the wall charger put into our house or installed in the house this weekend. So by this Saturday we'll have that, and we'll be able to just plug in here. I think it's like 10 cents a kilowatt as opposed to 35 cents or 45 cents that we were paying. So far so good. Pretty good road trip. We enjoyed it. Easy ride, quiet ride, comfort. It was a comfortable ride. So far so good. So earlier when we stopped at the Connecticut rest stop, I got back in, I was talking about how a guy approached me while I was charging the car up, asking if his Chevy Bolt, I think it was a Bolt, can be, or a Bolt, it's a Bolt, right? Can be used at a Tesla charger. And I told him, I don't believe you can, and I don't even know if they make adapters from a Chevy to be able to use a Tesla. You guys will know better than I. I know there's some sort of partnership that they just came out with that they're gonna be able to use them eventually. So back to the story, he comes up to me, he's like, the charger's not working. There's two chargers. One, it looks like they were either working on it or a van had parked there, which shouldn't have been there, but I do believe that they were working on it. And the other one, it kept saying something like charger failed or charge failed, so he wasn't able to get any charge. And that's why he was asking if he can use the Tesla ones. Come to find out, he rented this car, and I guess he was getting some sort of discount for renting an EV. I don't know how much. I know he was driving to New York, I believe, and then going to be driving back up to Boston. And he, from what I gathered, he's from out west, so he's just kind of on vacation and didn't really know much of the area. So I did tell him that, about 10 miles down, or about 10 minutes or so from there was another rest stop that he can try out to see if that charger was working. And then he showed me on his last charge that wherever he was, they were charging him $2.99 per kilowatt, which seems pretty absurd. And I guess it goes to show how mature the Tesla supercharger network is. Every Tesla charger that we went to was working, and it worked fine, and everybody was there, everybody was happy, where they were getting their charge and they were leaving. The EV chargers that are out there, I mean, at least with this particular situation, this guy couldn't get either one of them to work. And he was saying that the whole time he's had this car, which I don't know how long it is, one of them works or the other one doesn't work, or they both don't work, or it's slow, or it's very expensive and they're charging him all these extra fees. And I'm just like, wow, it's a great thing we didn't go with another EV. And that was one of the reasons why we went with the Tesla, because of the supercharging, or just the network of chargers that they have all over. And for the most part, you always hear how reliable they really are. So I guess this does go to show that Tesla's charging is far superior. Charging stations are far superior to everything that's out there now. It makes sense why a lot of these automakers are partnering up with Tesla to make one, what do they call it? One standard. And I know some of the other automakers, I forget who it is, Honda, Toyota, or something like that, they're making their own. So that is what it is. And it will be maybe somewhat annoying. I don't know. Maybe Tesla will just ramp up their superchargers when all the EVs are charging. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how that transpires. I'm going to assume that they're going to be making a lot more chargers, so that way they could be able to handle all that extra volume that comes in to get their cars charged. So if you've liked this video and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like it. Sounds a little redundant, but make sure you like the video. Any questions, comments, suggestions, put them down in the description. Comment section. Always say description. The comment section below. If you haven't, please subscribe. Helps the channel out tremendously. And like always, keep on living a modern lifestyle through technology. Peace.